Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer, and this reading is us looking into the energies of July. So here on the channel, there's an ongoing healing process with videos and healings that you can find over on my Patreon, and there's also energy work here on the channel. But I also included some energy updates where we're looking at collective energy. And so today we're going to be looking at the month of July because there's a very powerful lesson for us in these times, which is to understand the seasons and that there is a time for everything and a space and a place for everything. And especially energetically, there's a context that we are evolving in. And the more we can align with that collective context, the better off we'll be. The more we'll be able to thrive in life. We will have this experience of walking the path of least resistance, of moving and really being able to co-create with spirit. And that's what it's about. It's co-creation. It's not being a slave to the energy. It's not doing, you know, acting unconsciously, right? Oh, it's July, so I can't do XYZ. It's not that at all. It's much more a matter of seeing what spirit is putting down. And that's what collective energy is. You know, the collective is the universe at the highest level. So collective energy tells us where spirit is, what spirit is valuing at this time, prioritizing, and so on. And so when we can tap into that, that helps us tremendously. And so that being said, the collective energy for this reading is not all of humanity. It is the collective energy of the soul group who is participating in this collective healing process, or that is aligned with that energy. So let's get right to it. I did get this message that July was this energy of rain of abundance. Spirit is making it rain. There's a rain of abundance. This is my resource stone. And so Spirit wants us to think about everything coming in as a resource. So whatever it is that we're needing, whatever it is that we are requiring more of in our lives, and the operative words here are requirement, need, right? So whatever we're needing, we're going to get tons of. So if we need more time, time is going to come in. If we need more money, money's going to come in. If we need more friendships, friendships are going to come in, and so on and so forth, right? It is about need, and it is about understanding that everything that is coming in is a resource for a higher purpose, and that higher purpose being front and central in July. So that being said, we have an overall energy of rest. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's going to be the overall energy for July. And then we've got Sacred Ecosystem. Okay. Beautiful. And we've got Descending Power, Ascended Master Lao Tzu Zinzai. And yeah, this is manifestation, but a very specific kind. So in this deck, when you see the pink borders, that's healing. The blue borders, turquoise borders, are about spiritual power, spiritual growth and evolution, which is very central to what we're working on here on the channel. So the central energy is going to be a healing coming into your reality this July. And the core essence of that healing is rest, but it is about bringing rest again in an area where you are feeling unrest, where you are feeling a scarcity of things, lack also to some extent, where scarcity is realized but lack is perceptive. It's how we perceive. It's a filter that we use to apply to our reality. And so this is Spirit talking about both those levels really being influenced, because sometimes we have scarcity, so there are some things that we don't have, like I was talking about, that we need more time, we need more connections, we need more money, and those are scarce things. But then we can layer lack on top of that, and Spirit is talking about a healing that is coming in where we are going to be able to encounter the scarcity, the realized material reality. And through healing that, we're also going to be able to take on lack and to heal it or not. Because the point of healing that lack is our own thing. It's a choice. It is something we empower ourselves to do, right? There are billionaires on this planet who have a lack mentality. So as much money as Spirit can throw at you, it doesn't mean that you're going to come out of a space of feeling lack when it comes to money. That's the intention this month. So there's also a big message about empowerment and us doing our own part. With that, we have Sacred Ecosystem, and I love this. Sacred Ecosystem is coming in to talk about the right thing in the right place for the right reasons and in the right ways. So whatever is coming in, this rain of abundance that is going to be showering your life in July, it is intended to feed and nurture the correct dynamics and unfolding already at play in your life. So this is not abundance that's going to come in to feed and nurture a toxic relationship, a toxic workplace that is going to come in and feed and nurture you in a project that is not in alignment with your highest good or with your higher destiny in life, or even with the work that you've been putting into growing and evolving yourself. So wherever you've been putting in aligned effort, Spirit is saying righteous effort, righteous energy, righteous presence, and not righteous in the sense of our human perspective, but righteous in the sense that it is right with the sacred ecosystem, the greater being of the universe. What I was talking about, that seasons, if it's right with the season, if it's right with the universe, then sacred ecosystem is talking about conditions and circumstances coming together to feed and nurture that, so that part of the abundance experience is also the right environment, the right conditions, the right circumstances, the right opportunities, the right convergences, things coming together, working out. So a bigger, more contextual form of abundance. Beautiful. And finally, we've got descending power. As above, so below. As above, so below. And you might want to check out the reading that I will be posting on the channel here, I believe next week, but that we're going to be talking about into 2025. And we're going to be talking actually a lot about the 8 vibrational energy of this year. And I see it here with the 2-8, right? So, and the point of the 8 vibration is how 8 is written. It's a perfect as above, so below. And it's this kind of energy that is talked about here. Descending power is a card that talks about when we've been putting energy into spiritual work, growth, evolution. We've been putting in that energy in higher realms, and then we start to move it down. But again, it talks about consciously shifting our focus so that we come out of visualization and into effort. We come out of planning into, what would be the word? Out of planning into enacting, out of the more ethereal into the material, the practical. And this is something that we have to choose to do, but it's about doing it in a way where it stays aligned. Descending power, right? So it's not, it descends from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere. It's coming from above into below, into earthly material reality, but we have to make the effort to keep that alignment there, right? So if you've been meditating for X amount of time and visualizing how you're going to build a house, for example, and then you go into the store to buy the materials, and then you look at the prices and you're like, oh, no. And all of a sudden your visualization goes out the window. That's not the alignment that we're looking for. It's about how to earthly, practically, humanly materialize what we've been working on higher levels. Now, of course, it's not about, again, being a slave to the energy, right? Some level of practicality is going into it, because especially when we're meditating, visualizing, we tend to have a symbolic experience, right? So if we see a house of gold, it might not necessarily mean to go out and build a house with materials of gold. That's a very different cost than to use wood, for example, or brick. And then the gold would be nobility, building a house that is noble, that will endure, and so on. So there's that leeway of interpretation, that as long as, for example, the materials that you buy are sustainable, they're noble, they're not hurting the planet, they're not hurting other people. For example, there's a huge industry of people who make bricks who are enslaved and for generations. And so that using those bricks to build your house would not be in alignment with the goal that you saw in your vision. It's like that. It's like that. And there's a lot of wisdom in this and a lot of growth and evolution that comes from it. So let's keep going. And I love this. As above, so below. As above, so below. So we're having this phoenix energy showing up. This is the Terra of Fire, by the way. And this phoenix energy is talking about rebirth. And it's talking about something really amazing rising from the ashes and coming back in. So we've got our 4 of Cups with a Ring of Fire here. A portal. Portal, 4 of Cups. We've got the Queen of Wands. We have got the King of Pentacles. Nice. Always nice to see the King of Pentacles when we are talking about we're talking about the material reality, prosperity. The four major arcana number four, the Emperor, and I feel like this card really, when I used this deck the last time, this card showed up also. It is upside down here now, and with that we have the Seven of Wands. Look at you, spitting fire. Which is a term from music, right? From hip-hop, spitting fire. But I do feel like it is liberating a lot of spiritual energy into the world. So how are we going to do this? Because we're going to do it like this and like this, because they are connected. So my love, here we go. Central dynamic that Spirit really wants you to talk about and really wants you to think about, to have in the back of your head as you're moving through July. King of Pentacles, Pentacles, earthly reality, again, all of that practical stuff, also the effort, the work, all of those levels are part of the Pentacles. So King, you have the ability to master that. You can master it in July. It does take to be a hybrid being. So this is a lion and this is a snake. I forget what those are, but it's also another animal. So different animals merging together as one. It's about you really taking on not necessarily the qualities of these animals. I don't feel like that's it, but it's much more a hybrid of different things. So for example, you in your process of soul growth and soul evolution, you might have developed certain artistic dispositions, certain business acumen, and then what would be the last one, like a practical way, a way of going about things. And it's about balancing all of those elements so that what you create, you still remain artistic, you still remain practical, and you still remain able to create something that is gainful, so that all of those elements are there. That's one way of aligning it. For some of you, it's also being, for example, very maternal, but also very attractive, and at the same time to be very hands-on, like boss kind of power. And then you merge all of those, and you could be that whether you're a man or a woman, right? It's energy. It's like that. There are different energies at play that you need to embody and to navigate in July to really get the most out of this situation, and especially Spirit is saying to get the rest. Because if you approach it in a way, for example, where you set practicality aside, you won't really get the rest. You won't really feel good about it, because it won't really be what you want, need, and deserve for it to become. And you won't really get the most out of the potential that is here for you. And so Spirit is really laying it out there for you. It's a choice. It's for you to choose. It's for you to embrace. It's for you to move and run with. And if you can find the ways to make that balance happen, then you're going to thrive. And there's, of course, guidance for you on that front. Here we have what not to do or to do less of. Yeah. And here what to do more of, right? And Spirit is reiterating, like, we are not telling you what to do or what not to do. It is completely up to you. There's a big energy of sovereignty, ownership in July. What's going to happen in July is what you make happen. It's that kind of energy gifting itself to you. So we've got our Four of Cups with a portal here. And we've got our Queen of Wands, who is showing up as, I'm seeing it like this is a future higher version of this being. I don't remember the myths exactly. And okay, I'm going to pause and I'm going to check them out. That's going to help. Okay, let's do that. All right, so I went and looked, and we have here a big message, actually. Look, this is the Four of Cups, right? And it's representing in bulk, I believe. It's a Celtic ritual. But it's talking about the purifying power of fire. And so there's a ring of fire here. It's representing a portal. And again, the time, the season, to step into a different kind of realm, to step into a different kind of space. This is the universe. And I feel like Spirit is saying this is an energy that is collective. We're all having this energy. We're all having this shift offered to us. But some people will go through, some people will not. Now here we have the sheep, and the sheep represents this kind of mindless way of going about. And of course, Spirit is the shepherd. But Spirit doesn't want you to follow sheepishly, to go through the portal unconsciously. And even if you could, you can't. That's the point. Even if you did, even if you kind of chose to be unconscious, you wouldn't be able to move through the portal. This is a portal that requires a specific kind of consciousness. Which one? This one. This is a goddess who's turning coal into gold. So we were talking about that, right? And so there's a message here about transforming things in your life that are scarce, things that you experience are not working, transforming them into that spiritual version of themselves that you've been working on energetically. It's time to transform it. It's time to make it happen. However, this aspect here is representing a goddess, so the spiritual self. But then we have the earthly self here that seems small and is looking at it like it's separate from themselves, meaning you have the power to change and transform whatever is like coal in your life, whatever is stuck, is hard, is not working, whatever is poor, for lack of a better term, but that doesn't have that creative energy to it, that abundance to it, that resonance to it, and that alignment with you and your life and where you're headed, right? Whatever that is not the way that you want, need, or deserve for it to be, you have the power to change that. But if you separate from that, if you look at it as something that is completely divine and completely extraordinary and separate from you, then you're disempowering yourself, whereas you need to grasp this power and to make it your own, as we're going to see here. But very clearly understand, this is a time that Spirit is orchestrating. It's a process to move through consciously. So don't disengage and go unconscious. Usually we do this by going into the past, old patterns, old habits, old ways. We do this by not choosing. We do this again by disempowering ourselves, thinking that we're not up to the circumstances, we're not up to the challenges. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, why does it have to be this way? A lot of the things we do also is that we try to change the conditions, the challenges, rather than taking them on, right? So as the old spiritual goes, Lord, don't move the mountain. Teach me how to climb. Spirit is guiding you through the portal out of the stress and the strain towards greater rest. The guidance is happening. The energies are moving you towards that. The sacred ecosystem, the convergence, things coming together, all of that is happening. You just need to believe that you can do it. And especially don't believe that you can't. That's really the guidance here. It's one thing to believe you can do something, but very, very clearly focus on not believing that you can't. Right? It's a double negative. Don't believe you can't. And that's very important. It's a different thing if Spirit was saying, believe you can. It might come, right? Whatever. But that's not what Spirit is saying. Spirit is saying, don't believe you can't. Don't block it, in other words. So what to do more of, we have here this Emperor. And in this deck, the Emperor, I kid you not, represents this being, the individual, that has both spiritual with the purple and earthly energy as one. And so upside down, it is talking about disrupting the balance in a sense. It's very important that you shift your perspective towards a more earthly one. But as you're shifting that perspective, it's still a matter of manifesting the energy. This is a shaman from Mongolia, and it talks about him manifesting his own energy, his own spiritual energy. And so with the Four of Wands, the major arcana number 4 here, this is soul level energy, soul level dynamics. And the soul does sit in that liminal space, in that space between the spiritual and the earthly, and works all of those dynamics in order to create our reality. So this does speak about creating reality. But Spirit is letting you know upside down that the biggest impetus, where the momentum and the movement and the depth and the energy is going to come from in this season, is going to be from engaging with the material more than engaging with the spiritual. It's going to be about manifesting spiritual energy in earthly form. So if you do have your ideals, your inspirations, your aspirations, that alignment to the higher being, absolutely stay true to that. This is even pivotal for it to work and to truly manifest. However, it's not your inspiration that is going to move things along and get you the rest and the evolution and the manifestations that are here for you in July. With the 7, and this is actually 7 of Swords, it's going to be your ability to translate those inspirations, those aspirations, those ideals, your ability to translate it into earthly energy. And even moving down, to look at your heart, your values, your intentions, your ambitions. Where do you want to take your life? Well, you have to stay true to that. But again, it's going to take the earthy movement. If he doesn't open his mouth, the energy doesn't materialize, right? It can be here, it can be built up, but the mouth needs to move. The physical movement needs to occur for the manifestation to flow fully. And so that being said, there's also a message here with the Seven of Swords in this deck that does talk about difficulties and obstacles around and overcoming those. And that's also the thing. If there are difficulties and obstacles, you overcome them by manifesting spiritual energy. Again, by staying true to the ideals, stay true to the inspiration, stay true to what you really love and value, what you care about in the situation. And that's going to allow you to manifest earthly energy so that you can take on the challenge, take on the difficulty, and move forward with an aligned manifestation. So my love, those were the messages that I have for you here and now. I am so excited about this reading. I hope that it served you. And I would love to hear to turn the comment section into a space and a place for you to seed your intentions, your inspirations, your aspirations for July and then beyond, because this was February energy. We do have the solstice, the summer solstice, the June solstice that just passed, and so there is also an energy for the next 6 months. So for July, for the next 6 months, what are your aspirations, your inspirations, your ideals, your values, your intentions that for you to seed? If you drop a comment, I will go up behind and I will, of course, pray on it with you through spirit and just bring all this positive energy. And of course, we can all do that for one another. So my love, that was the reading. Thank you for watching. Lots of love. And I will be seeing you around. Bye. Oh yeah, wait. Oh, let me wish you. I wish you a blessed, abundant, restful, and generous month of July. And so it is. Bye.